been 7 in all stabbing victims.
It doesn't take much to get stabbed in our society today, bottom line.
That my son had been stabbed.
Larger weapon.
They just stabbed him.
One of the instances was in Mini Marble right here. Me and my friends were all sat around this table and just listening to music and talking, and we saw 2 people in tracksuits go past on scooters, like electric scooters. They went past at first, and then I heard them come back around, and then they opened the gate to come in. They walked up to us and they got out this big knife and pointed at us. He's like, hurry up, put everything on the table right now. You used to hear people talking about it in school all the time. This still affects me now. I'm still quite nervous to go outside. It makes you feel very vulnerable, quite powerless as well.
In terms of mental health, each person will be completely individual to the situation. For some people, it will be something that could have long-term impacts like PTSD, like anxiety, but also can cause phobias as well.
My brother got robbed for his phone a couple of weeks ago, and they told him they were going to kill him. And that was in a very similar spot to where I was robbed. I think they target young people because they're more inferior, they're more likely to be scared, they can't fight back.
I think hope has gone. Education, certain people don't see themselves in education, they don't see any pathways through education. They are scared. They don't believe that their parents, their teachers, or the police can protect them.
So there was one incident that happened to me personally around about 8-9 months ago. The lad was caught, he was 18, and he came up to me, asked me for my stuff, and at that point in my life I wasn't feeling great. So I said to him to do it, and it really shows how cowardly people are who carry knives, because he backed away and did nothing. I've noticed seeing a lot more knife crime on the news now. The amount of crimes that is happening has gotten worse. The town I live in isn't the one that I used to know.
Everyone thinks that they can run a drugs line and they're going to be the only ones that never get caught or go to prison. The reality is I'm dealing with 15, 16, even younger who are involved in this. They're going to youth institutions or prison when they get to 18, and actually they've been fed a lie.
You go through that sort of paranoid state, you're doing something or you've done something in your life and you constantly think bad karma's coming after you. So you're there, you're waiting on it, you're prepared for it. If someone wants to try and test you, you're thinking of nothing but the worst to happen. And obviously as the world carries on, the generations, I'd say myself, get tougher and tougher. And they're scared little kids. They don't know no better, but they don't know what they're getting themselves into.
I speak to young people who say that I would rather go to prison than die. They're carrying larger weapons because they've said to me, the longer it is, the more distance I can keep from that person. We have the narrative, quite rightly, that young people shouldn't carry knives. They look at me and laugh.
I was in a house party and I walked in with about 2 of my boys. We've been there, we've been enjoying it for an hour and a half. We've seen this group of like 5 old guys walk in, all a bit sort of dodgy. But they go over and they hold a conversation with the 2 girls who are like holding them over. And I've seen one of them look quite uncomfortable, so I've gone over to intervene. I've gone and spoken and just been like, look, like, why are we all so sour over here? It's like, it's a good fucking party, why are we acting like we're all fucking pissed off? He's giving me the big old fucking Larry chat, thinking he's some big man or some fucking idiot. Going, bro, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Like, this is none of your problem, like, fuck off. I was only coming over and good vibes. He's gone, giving me that sort of stick, and I gone, listen, mate, like, I'm not here to fucking do all this shit. Like, I know these 2 girls, and they're not looking comfortable. He's gone to me and he said, oh, big man, seriously, this is your last chance, fuck off. And he grabbed his hand on his waist with a Rambo. He was like, I was like, bro, if you really want to fucking do this, we'll go through with it. He's gone and pulled his fucking knife out of his waistband. I've gone towards the guy. He's fucking put the knife round in a hook and given me 3 slashes on my back.
We have social learning theory, so the idea that we would have potentially seeing people who commit knife crimes or knowing of other people who commit knife crimes and in essence see them as role models. There are still quite a few celebrities who mention knife crimes in their songs. They also use it on album covers, which some people would then use to idolise it and want to copy and imitate those behaviours.
We have social media that can transport us to the edges of wars and stuff, you know, around the world, and I think that that has been a real issue for young people.
That, amongst other things in my life, has given me PTSD, which is not easy to live with. You have a whole load of different issues that obviously come with PTSD. People think it's just there and you have the odd flashback here and there about things and this and that, but they don't know that you relive it in nightmares, that exact moment. They don't know that you can't sleep, you have insomnia. They don't know that you're constantly stressed, you're paranoid.
Always a little bit nervous to go outside, especially when it's dark or maybe in a place that I don't know very well. And I've got a lot of anxiety in my life.
Even going back to that place, I felt sketchy around there.
For a lot of people, there will be many different reasons why they don't want to report it. The idea of masculinity and the idea of embarrassment could definitely be a reason. Similarly, if they had had something stolen from them, they might not want to report it because it could be a pride issue that's stopping that from happening because it's lowering their status.
Trauma informed, we're looking at young people who usually come from poverty, have ACEs, which is acute childhood experiences. So working around the trauma that they have to develop them and make them more resilient to the issues that they're going to face. Something happens to young people, especially boys, and we're now seeing it with girls as well. I've spoken to primary school teachers that say highly engaged, really intelligent, happy young people. Once they get into secondary school, I think it's about identity. I think our parents and communities need to be more involved in the young people's lives. I think working with parents, everyone thinks that their young person, butter wouldn't melt in their mouth. What we've got is young people who have a computer in front of them, which they stay up all night looking at. They're bullied, they're coerced within that, and parents don't know what's going on. And I think we've tried to befriend our children and get along with them in that way, but actually we need to define the safety barriers around them so that they can fit in with that. We need to start thinking about how we can find other routes for young people to be successful in their lives.